Hello everyone, and today I'm doing a special about a recent trip I took to Europe, Germany, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and I went through Austria as well, an EF tour. So hopefully you enjoy. As you can see, this picture is of our bus, and here you can see a picture, most common villages as you would see in Germany. Another village. You have to excuse me if I start rambling on, because I probably will talk about some of the history that I learned and whatnot. Some things, like pictures like this, they're pretty common. There won't be a whole lot that I know about them. I took a lot of pictures. So, mainly just enjoy the pictures, and I'll try to talk about them a little as we go along. It was about a 9-day stay in Europe. And as you can see, this is in Rothenburg, Germany, the Rothenburg marketplace that still has the original walls and even a moat type thing that went around it. The pictures you're seeing right now just are from the outside of the village. As you can see, there's a cannon. This next picture here is the main gate. As you can see, kind of off to the right is where the moat would be and the bridge that goes over it. And I don't know a lot of German, but obviously marketplatz, marketplace. And yeah, really neat looking Dutch type buildings, German buildings, really old medieval-like places. I really enjoyed going. I'd never been out of the United States before, and this was truly a remarkable sight. As you can see here, cobblestone, you'd see a lot of that throughout the entire trip. Here we are getting into the marketplace a little further. And this is a pretty common view of the marketplace. Got to do a lot of free exploring. This next picture you see here is this is where you would go up onto the wall. As for us, we would come back down the wall from this point. Another picture of the wall exit there. Some more pictures here. It really was pretty. The weather here was just wonderful. Here in Missouri, the weather's horrible, and here you can see window just right inside the walls that have been broken out. I don't know if it's been like that forever. Here's a picture on top of the walls I took of the village. We actually got to go up onto the walls. It was kind of a neat sight. A clock tower from up on the walls. Very interesting how these buildings have lasted. Now this is outside of Rothenburg, about 5:30 in the morning German time. From our hotel window, and the bed. And then typical German bathroom. You have to push the deal on the wall to get the toilet to flush. I know it's not the most interesting picture in the world. That morning outside, there's our bus just outside the hotel. Really nice hotel, pretty basic. And here's where you would drop your key off just before you left. They had really delicious breakfasts, and it's nothing special. It's just Swiss cheese, ham, all kinds of different ham, cereals. And, I mean, it was all really good. The milk, it was just spectacular. And here's some more images going down the road. I don't know where we were, like I said, I snapped a lot of pictures. Anything that I thought was interesting, I took pictures of, because I thought I'd probably never be here again. For a person that had never been on an airplane in his life, never been out of the United States, or even very far from the state of Missouri. Here's where we made a quick stop in Nördling, Germany. Only about 15 minutes. And that's a typical semi in Germany. I thought it was kind of interesting. It's nothing like the American vehicles. The next set of pictures were taken in Dachau, Germany, the concentration camps. And, it's shocking. It's just really shocking. These pictures you're seeing is plaques that honor the American soldiers that freed them. And here's the gate that says, "Work will set you free." I mean, it was just so devastating to think of what went on within these concentration camps. Outside the window, you could see the monument they'd made in honor of all that had died, and this is a model of the concentration camp itself. This next picture, the lines outlined in red are the only parts of the concentration camp left standing and what we were able to look around. There's the monument again. And forgive me, the photo quality is not the absolute best. The only way I could do narration is with the older version of Windows Movie Maker. This here was, it talked about how the Jews were experimented on for medical research, which is horrible to think about. And that building you see there is the museum itself that had a lot of those pictures, and it talked about things. Here's very touching, Never Again. It's right in the center of the concentration camp, and here's the only bunker, well, one of two bunkers that we are allowed to go in, and the original bunks they had stayed in. This is how they washed. These are the wash bowls. They did not get any type of showers or anything. And the toilets, of course, nothing very fancy. You never knew when you were the next person to be brought out and shot. So, I mean, it was terrible, terrible conditions, just a terrible time, really, for the world. Here's another view of the camp and the monument. And here you can see where the other bunks were, the foundations. They are no longer there. They were tore down after World War II. And there's one of the original chapels that were actually, I guess not original, but it's a chapel that was built probably after the Holocaust. And this is a Russian chapel that was built in the 1990s. And this was probably the most devastating thing for me to see. This is the crematorium where the Jews were cremated after they had been executed. And there you can see right there, it's just horrible to think this is where they were cremated, and it was really horrible to actually be there in person. This room is where they were brought just before they were to be cremated, and the rooms were filled full. And this is the gas chamber that was supposedly never used, even though, who knows, everything was so isolated. I'm sure they used it, even though they say they didn't. And just behind the crematorium there is where thousands of remains of the Jews are. The plaques there on the ground say this is the site of thousands of unknown. As you can see here, grave of thousands unknown. It's really horrible to think how many lives were lost here. And, we pray to God that this never happens again. This next picture, the ash grave, very typical. You see a lot of these throughout the area. It's really quite touching and very, very sad. Just above this plaque is a wall where they would execute them by just shooting at them. As you can see, the pistol range for execution. And then right next to it, the execution range with the blood ditch. I mean, it's just a horrible feeling. And once again, another grave of many thousand unknown. And another memorial where many more people were buried. Ashes were stored. For the longest time, they said, how could people not know this was going on? I've been here, and there's no way the people of Dachau could have known this was going on. This is all isolated in forest, dense forest. I mean, it's really no surprise that people didn't know what was going on. Now, the pictures here now are in Munich, Germany. This building, even though it looks old, if I remember right, the tour guide said these are some of the buildings that were constructed by Hitler to serve as government buildings. I do not know entirely, because like I said before, a lot of these pictures I just took them, we didn't go into them. This is the obelisk, I know that for fact, I remember that. And as you can see here, there are a lot more really beautiful buildings in the city of Munich. We really enjoyed ourselves. We had 3 total days to be in Munich, which actually was too long for me, because on the 3rd day there was an optional Salzburg mines, the salt mines in Austria. I didn't realize I didn't sign up for it, so I stayed behind with a few others. We didn't stay in Munich. We stayed at our hotel in Erding, Germany, just outside of Munich. And, I really enjoyed that because we were really having to move like crazy. We up at 5:30 in the morning, out, on the bus by 7, and then we didn't get in till like 10 o'clock at night doing all of our touring. So that extra day was really useful, that 3rd day. Instead of going back to Munich, we just slept. This is the Glockenspiel building, which was really neat to see, and this is on the Marienplatz Square in central Munich, where the Glockenspiel building is. That was really neat. We got to see the Glockenspiel go around, and there's a clock tower on the Marienplatz. The next picture here is of the Glockenspiel, and unfortunately I did not get to take any videos of it. I just wasn't prepared whenever it finally went off. Here's the top half of the Glockenspiel building, a really beautiful building, just magnificent how old it is and how beautiful, and that's still standing. Now here's in Erding, Germany. This is just a hut. No, it's not our hotel. A hut across from the hotel. And then here, this was my first German beer, and oh my goodness, I'm not a big beer drinker, but boy, that wasn't bad at all. And the next picture here is of our hotel room in Erding. It was a really nice place. Like I said, we got to stay there for 3 days. The first day we arrived in Munich, we got to do a little touring, not very long. Second day we got to spend the whole day in Munich, while the rest of the tour went on a bike ride. And really, we were there for like 6 hours, and we covered everything there was to see within 2, so it got boring. And that's why we decided the 3rd day we're just going to sleep in while they go to Austria, and then we were to meet back in Munich by train with the rest of the group for dinner. Here you see some more very beautiful buildings, statues. Man, I really hate this video quality. I'm going to run this through the newer Windows Movie Maker, because I don't know if it'll help at all, but I didn't want to go through the hassle of downloading audio recording software. I just thought I'd use the old-fashioned Windows Movie Maker and make things easier. But it really was neat to go to Munich. I was looking forward to everything. I heard a lot of people say Munich's not the best place for the tour, even though we do spend 3 days there. But then they ended up being surprised, and it was really neat. I liked it. It's really busy. There's a lot of Chinese people there, and that's not, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. It just seems like there's a lot of Chinese people. You'd think you're in China instead of Germany, but a lot of people going and visiting the city of Munich. It's so crowded there. The Marienplatz, it was like a foot of space in front of you, and then there's another person. Now here's a building here that was damaged during World War II, where bullets. You could see where the bullet holes went into the building. They left that. This is the Freedom Arch. Napoleon himself went underneath it when he tried to invade Russia, and I thought that was really neat. Now here you can see we went to the BMW factory. I think it's near Munich. I wasn't really sure. It was kind of a neat thing. There you can see the BMW building from outside, and it was really neat to see another kind of auto making place besides American Ford and Chevy. That is the Olympic building. I don't remember a whole lot what they said about it. This next bunch of pictures, this is a palace not far out of Munich. One of the princesses, I can't remember her name, I think it's Maria, but I'm not sure. It was a palace that was built just for her, and it was her building only. This picture you see here is the stables, and there you can see the lake kind of in front of the palace, off to the right side of the palace. This next picture here is the central building, which is obviously where she resided. It was a great big building. I'd say that's one heck of a birthday present for the princess. And there's a clock tower just above the central left side of the building. I'm not sure the direction, so I'll just say central left. And here we are back in Munich. And next picture will be the obelisk again. Since we went through multiple times, I obviously took a lot of pictures. There was the same thing. before I started this video, I kind of deleted some of them because I didn't want to have the same one over and over again. This next picture is the Opera House, and no, we didn't get to go in. That would have been neat to see an opera, but you know, just quick drive by, and they told us about it. Here was our second day in Munich, our free time. The Hard Rock Cafe is one of the places we made a stop, and it was kind of a neat place to see. Very, very high-priced foods. Of course, that was typical throughout all of Germany. Everything's high-priced, but it was a little worse here at the Hard Rock Cafe. Of course, it wasn't as bad as Switzerland. I didn't buy anything in Switzerland because it was too expensive. It was like €4.80 just for a pop, which would be like over $6 in the United States. This gentleman here, he was nice enough to let me take a picture of him, and I got to shake his hand. Yeah, he was a real nice person. Of course, we're still in Munich here. I can't pronounce the name of this, but it was a beer hall, and it was a really beautiful place. We got tired of walking around, so we just went in there and sat. This is a market where I bought a shirt, and gosh dang it, I left it at a hotel. I kicked myself when I found out we left it, but it's like, whatever. And there was a chicken running around just across the hotel. I thought, what in the world's a chicken doing running around? I guess, you know, that's nothing wrong with letting your chickens run around. No one's going to try to kill it, I guess. But, you know, here we go with some more very beautiful pictures. Looks like a cathedral. And here we are, we're still in Germany, and you can start seeing the Alps, the mountains. Very, very beautiful. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we're still in Germany at this point, but we could be approaching Switzerland. Excuse me. But we weren't really informed where we were. Every now and then she would say, you know, oh, we're driving through Austria, we're in Switzerland. I know I didn't really get to go to the Salzburg's mines in Salzburg, Austria or anything, but we did drive through Salzburg, and I thought, well, at least I got to say I drove through Austria. Here we are, we're still in Germany, yes, because here's the Neuschwanstein Castle, which I didn't get to go up, but I got some neat pictures of it from a distance. And it's a really beautiful castle. It's actually the castle that was used in inspiration for the Walt Disney Castle. And here's I can't remember the name of this castle, but it's directly off to the side of Neuschwanstein. Very beautiful. And we got a second bus at this point. I don't remember what day it was into the tour, but we got a new bus, and then looked much better than the other one. But you know, they're different to me. I'd never been on a bus like that or any kind of touring bus in my life, so it wasn't really too bad at all. There we go again with Neuschwanstein Castle. Very, very beautiful. I really wish we had gotten a chance to go up into it. As you could see, looked like they were doing maintenance to the building or something like that. But we got a lot of free time. I bought my first bratwurst here. You know, funny enough, I didn't buy one in Munich, but I did buy one here. I bought several souvenirs here. There were horse-drawn carriages that would take you up to the castle, but I didn't have time to get up to it. Here we are with mountains again. I'd say we're getting pretty close to Switzerland, or we are in Switzerland. This next picture is of the Rhine River, and I believe this is when we actually cross over either from Germany to Austria or Germany to Switzerland. I cannot remember, but you know what? Who cares? I'm in Europe. I'm happy. This is a very exciting experience. And there's a really neat picture of the Appalachian Mountains. Now, this next picture is in Vaduz, Liechtenstein, a very, very small country. This is the Prince's Palace, and as you can see, his flag is flying, so he was home. Our tour guide told us, out of the very, very, very odd chance the Prince ever came down, you must address him as Your Highness, or you could get arrested. I thought, okay, I'd be the first one to mess up and say, oh, hello, Your Hiney, or something stupid like that, but, you know, he didn't come down. Next picture here, not that one, this one, the world's first electric car to cross China. I thought, what the heck's it doing in Liechtenstein? Look how small it is anyway. I couldn't fit in it. And there's a bench that has the city's name on it, Vaduz, which is the capital of Liechtenstein. Very neat place. Here we are, some more mountains. I believe it's still in Liechtenstein. You're going to see a lot of pictures of mountains. I've never seen mountains, not even the United States. Like I said, I've been barely out of the state of Missouri. I've never seen the Rocky Mountains. I've never seen the Appalachian Mountains. I've seen some, the Knott Hills down in southern Missouri, but that's about it. These mountains are just beautiful. I believe the next picture here is of our hotel in Lucerne, Switzerland. Actually, not in the city of Lucerne, but it's up into the mountains away. Picture after this is the Lion Memorial, in honor of all the Swiss soldiers that died defending the country. If not World War II, but in the previous wars, Switzerland never did fall to the German Reich, if I remember right. Now, this is the most beautiful picture here in Lucerne, Switzerland, of the bridge that was built back in the 10 or 1100s, one of the two. And the swans, they would come right up to you. I thought that was amazing. My mom would have died if she got to go on this tour. She loves the birds. Here's on the other side. That tower there was a torture chamber. Nowadays, it's a gift shop. What a change. I have no idea what that says, what it means, but it's a beautiful picture. They didn't tell us what it was, but I thought, ooh, that's pretty. I'm going to take a picture of it. We're still in Lucerne, Switzerland. This is a cathedral, very, very pretty cathedral. And beautiful artwork on the ceiling, as you can see here, and it's just beautiful. It's just, I have no words for how beautiful this place was. And here's a picture of the cathedral from the outside. Next picture here is across the river, the Swiss flag flying, and I have no idea what that blue and white flag is. The next picture after this is actually the Swiss Army Band playing, and after this picture is going to be a short clip of them playing their music, so I'll be quiet. Anyway, I thought that was really neat. I thought I should throw that in here. I took some other videos, but not very interesting videos. Here we are on Lake Lucerne. This is a $100 package I had to pay for on the trip to go up Mount Pilatus. This was the 90-minute boat ride. This is actually in the boat, that little cafeteria type thing you just saw. And the water here is so beautiful. The bluish, greenish water I've ever seen. So beautiful. You could probably look down and see the bottom of the lake. It was just so beautiful. And to see the mountains off in the distance and the clouds, it's just so amazing. And I guess it'd be worth telling you now, this is when I found out it's Friday the 13th. The mountain we're going up has the world's steepest cogwheel train, which we were taking to the top. I'm not a superstitious person, but today I think that side was finally starting to show. I thought, maybe I should just turn around, tell the boat to take me back to Lucerne, because we're going up the world's steepest cogwheel train. I couldn't believe it. But, I went up, I got me a free hat, and I came back down alive, so I don't care. And there you can see Pilatus. It's kind of hard to read, but it says Pilatus on that building. I don't know, that might be Mount Pilatus, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm afraid I didn't get a picture of the outside of the train, but here we are on the inside of the train. There's about a 40-minute ride going straight uphill. I can't really do any hand demonstrations how steep it was, but you can kind of imagine if it's the world's steepest cogwheel train, you could probably guess. But the way it's designed, it feels like you're sitting, level. Here's a picture. I'm not sure how high up we are, but this is actually up in the mountains, so excuse me. There you can see a cow. They actually bring the hay up with a cogwheel train up to the cows and feed them. I thought that is neat. Now here's one of the steeper pictures you can see. It really it was just really neat. It really got cooler too, and I thought that's amazing. By the time we get to the top of the mountain, I had to put my jacket on because there's spots of snow up on top of the mountain. It got really, really, really cold. There you can see some cows laying around grazing. I thought, how in the world did they get cows this high up? And there we are at the station at the top of the mountain, and there's one of the cogwheel trains coming up on the much more flatter surface. There you can see the tiniest little patch of snow, and it's really, really chilly up there. And here, yeah, this is at the very top, and those the fog is not fog, it's clouds. Next picture here, this is not snow, even though it looks like a snowy situation. It's just really cloudy and white ground. And here's some of the areas you can actually walk around and view from the top of the mountain. They had a really neat kind of can't even think what I'm trying to say here. Oh, it doesn't matter. Where you could buy food and water, all kinds of different souvenirs. Very beautiful view. The air is much thinner at the top, but it's such, I mean, you know, most city people have a hard time breathing up there. I didn't have a problem. You know, it really felt good breathing in that fresh air. Here we are going down. It's not a cogwheel train, and I don't remember what it's called, but it hangs by a cable, and it does rock back and forth. You had to stand in it. It's not this one. This is what we had to take the other half of the way down, a 4-seater. The other one was a little bigger, but the 4-seater is what you're seeing there. And we had to take it down the rest of the way, and I did not like it much. The person that traveled with me started rocking it, and I was getting very angry with them. But there's a view going down the mountain. Very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. Here we are in the Rhine Falls, Switzerland. Very pretty. I'm going to have a video of the picture after the next of the falls. It's a very short clip. So, I'll be quiet. Like I said, short clip. But here we are down here, the little building across the bridge, right next to the Rhine Falls. Now we're back in Germany, the Black Forest. And the picture after the next, this is a house that they turned into a big cuckoo clock. They sell cuckoo clocks here in beer steins. Let me be quiet and you can hear it. When it hits 1 o'clock, you'll be able to hear it right now. I could not afford one of their more expensive cuckoo clocks. I just bought a 30-year-old battery-operated one, and I was upset when it didn't go cuckoo. Now, that previous picture you're looking at right now going away is Heidelberg Castle, our last stop before we return to the United States. There's another little figurine on the castle, and some of the walls, obviously you can't walk on it. This is a castle that's in ruins, that has really seen the wartime, possibly from World War II, but a lot of it back during the medieval ages. And there is a lot of it still standing. Really beautiful. Also home to the world's largest wine barrel. And the first one you're going to see here, a picture after the next, is not the world's largest wine barrel. It's the smaller one, and then the one after that is the largest one. Here we are going down into the basement, or cellar, would be a more appropriate word. Here's the smaller one. You see that, and you're going to think, wow, how can there be a bigger one? Well, you're going to see in just a moment. And here we go. Largest wine barrel right there, and you actually can walk on top of it. Excuse me. And here we are out on the balcony type deal of the Heidelberg Castle. Next picture, you're going to see a man back in the 1100s jumped off the top of this. For what reason, I do not know. And I think I put the picture in. It actually shows his footprint where in the concrete. And I don't know if he lived or not, but boy, I'd say his leg was broken. Here are some very neat pictures of the castle. Very, very pretty view of the area beneath Heidelberg Castle. Next one I just absolutely love with the church. It's a very, very pretty red roofed buildings. Yep, next picture here is where the man landed, and they say if your foot could fit in it, then you're lucky. And I didn't bother trying, so I really don't know what to say there. We're getting toward the end of our video, so I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully this will help you it'll influence you to take a trip into Europe. So thank you for watching, and here's our last hotel, by the way.